The establishment of the Commonwealth and its promise of independence was welcomed by the Filipino people. It was seen as an opportunity to craft the destiny of the Filipino nation under the American age. In Commonwealth government, Quezon and Osmeña were re-elected by the Filipino people on November 11, 1941. But during 1930s to 1940s, the world was engulfed with the rise of authoritarianism and war, and Japan is one of them. Japan was a rising imperial power and wanted to compete with Western imperialism. In order to fully compete and to sustain the growth of their empire, they needed resources. Philippines was one of their targets to be a source of their raw materials, and so the war began. In order to successfully invade the country, Japan had first dismantled United States military power. They bombarded the Pearl Harbor, which was an American military base in the Pacific, on December 7, 1941.
The 0 hour has arrived. I expect every Philippine man and woman to do his duty. We have pledged our honor to stand the last by the United States, and we shall not fail her, happen what may. General, anong ibig sabihin ng ating pagkita, General?
Kailangan mo nang lumikas, President. Hindi na natin alam ang mga plano ng mga Hapones. Hindi na ligtas rito.
At saan naman tayo pwede lumikas?
Sa Corregidor Island sa Manila Bay, plano ko makipaglaban kasama aking mga buo sa Bataan at Corregidor at gawing Uping City ang Manila.
Sige, General. Magkita na lang tayo.
Manila was declared as an open city by General MacArthur to prevent Japanese bombings and civilian casualties. By January 2, 1942, the Japanese forces already occupied Manila. In Bataan and Corridor, the troops fought until the end to defend the Commonwealth government and wait for United States reinforcement and supplies. The defense of Bataan by the combined forces of Filipinos and Americans was noted for heroic efforts to defend the Philippines. Unfortunately, the sustained attacks of the Japanese forces were just too overwhelming.
Sir, our troops are slowly losing manpower, weapons and supplies. What will we do, sir?
Did you call for United States reinforcement and supplies?
Yes, sir, but it didn't come.
This is a problem. We will lose in this situation.
What are you planning to do, sir?
Inform everyone. We'll retreat to Australia.
Sir, yes, sir.
By April 1942, Filipino and American troops could anymore defend Bataan against the more equipped Japanese forces. Finally, on April 9, the remaining top military officials formally surrendered to the Japanese. Through a radio broadcast, this news was delivered to the Philippines and the world.
Bataan has fallen. The Philippine-American troops on their war-ravaged and blood-stained peninsula have laid down their arms. With heads bloody but unbowed, they have yielded to the superior force and number of the enemy.
With the victory of Japanese, they immediately consolidated their rule in the Philippines. On June 16, 1943, Japanese Prime Minister Hideki Tojo gave the Philippines the promise of independence. By October, the Japanese installed a Second Republic, which was commonly referred as the Japanese Puppet Regime. Under the Second Republic, rights and freedoms of the Filipinos were heavily suppressed.
Come with me. That's what I say.
The people continued to resist against the occupation of the Japanese. There are several guerrilla groups within the country. Probably the group that threatened the Japanese the most was the Hukbo ng Bayan Laban sa mga Hapon or Hok Balahap. They are good in conducting ambushes, freed prisoners, assisted towns, devastated the Japanese forces, stole weapons, and spies the enemy.
Sir, this is the report about the what happened today.
Thank you. But before you go, I want to give something to our commander. Wait, I'll say you.
Good morning, General.
Good morning. Is there any progress in our plan?
Yes, the ambush and infiltration succeed. The plan is going well and we are ready to go.
That's good. I'm returning there in Philippines. Just follow the plans and meet me in Leyte.
Okay, General.
People of the Philippines, I have returned.
It's good to see you here again, General.
Thank you. Is everything ready?
Yes, General, we can start anytime.
Good. Prepare your troops. We're going to reclaim Manila and defeat Japanese.
Okay, sir.
Together, the joint forces of American soldiers and Filipino guerrillas rapidly attacked Japanese positions all over the country. The combined American and Filipino forces regained the formerly Japanese-occupied territories, a major moment for Philippine history, and the Second World War was when the American troops arrived in Manila in February 3, 1945. The battle between the Filipino and American forces against Japanese troops would become the Battle of Manila. After months of fighting, the Japanese forces soon retreated to the mountain regions of northern Luzon. Battle after battle, the Japanese were defeated on July 4. MacArthur proclaimed the liberation of the Philippines from the Japanese.
The entire Philippine Islands are now liberated and the Philippine campaign can be regarded as historically closed. Some minor isolated action of the guerrilla nature in the vertically unrelated mountain range occupationally persists, but this great land of mass 115,600 square miles with a population of 17 million is now freed of the minor invader.
On August 6 and 9 of 1945, United States dropped the deadly atomic bombs in 2 Japanese towns, resulting to absolute mayhem. By August 15, Japan declared its surrender. This became official after Japan signed the terms of surrender on September 2. The Second World War was finally over.